Have you ever felt that the universe was trying to tell you something? Maybe it was a sudden coincidence, a random number you kept seeing, or a moment that stopped you in your tracks, like reality itself was whispering in your ear. Most people shrug those moments off, calling them luck, deja vu, or imagination. But what if they're not random at all? What if the universe has been speaking to you this whole time, and you just never learned its language? You see, the universe doesn't talk in words. It speaks in patterns, energy, timing, and emotion. Every event in your life, from the people you meet to the challenges you face, is part of an ongoing conversation. The question is not whether the universe talks to you. The question is, are you listening? The first way the universe communicates is through synchronicities, those so-called coincidences that seem too perfect to be accidents. You think of someone you haven't spoken to in years, and they text you the same day. You're debating a major decision, and suddenly a billboard flashes the exact phrase that matches your thoughts. That's not luck. That's alignment. The universe uses synchronicity as a bridge between your inner thoughts and outer reality, a sign that your vibration is syncing with the world around you. Think of it this way: your thoughts are like frequencies, constantly broadcasting into the cosmic field. Every feeling, every belief, every intention sends out a signal. The universe, being the mirror that it is, reflects those signals back in the form of experiences, events, and people. So when synchronicities begin to appear, it means your inner and outer worlds are starting to speak the same language. The universe isn't random. It's responsive. Another way the universe talks to you is through emotional resonance. Emotions are not just chemical reactions in your brain, they're energetic feedback. Every time you feel a strong emotion, whether joy, peace, discomfort, or fear, the universe is responding to your frequency. It's showing you whether you're aligned with your purpose or drifting away from it. If something feels off, that's not just anxiety. It's guidance, a gentle nudge from the cosmos saying, this is not your path. And when something feels effortlessly right, when doors open smoothly and people appear at the perfect time, that's the universe saying, yes, this is where you're meant to go. But the universe also speaks in silence. In the still moments when everything goes quiet, that's often when the loudest messages come through. We live in a world full of noise, constant notifications, endless distractions, and voices pulling us in every direction. But the universe speaks in frequencies too subtle for the cluttered mind to hear. That's why ancient teachers always said, be still. Because silence is not empty, it's full of answers. If you've ever had a gut feeling that turned out to be right, that's the universe speaking directly through your intuition. Intuition isn't magic. It's your soul's built-in communication line with the greater field of intelligence that holds everything together. Call it God, Source, the Matrix, or the quantum field. It's all the same thing. You're connected to it, and it's constantly guiding you toward what aligns with your highest timeline. Every time you ignore your intuition, life gets harder. Every time you trust it, things start to click. That's not coincidence. That's cooperation with universal flow. Now, some people ask, if the universe is talking to me, why doesn't it just tell me clearly what to do? Because clarity is earned through awareness. The universe won't hand you a map. It gives you clues. It tests your focus, your patience, your ability to tune into subtle signals. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, the messages feel vague. You see repeating numbers, random songs, or recurring symbols that seem meaningless. But as you start paying attention, you begin to decode the rhythm behind it all. You start realizing that the 11 you keep seeing, the feather on your path, or the stranger's words are not random. They're precise, and they're meant for you. There's a principle in quantum physics called observer effect. The act of observing something changes the outcome. That means your awareness doesn't just record reality, it shapes it. When you begin to consciously notice the signs around you, you strengthen the communication channel between you and the universe. You're basically saying, I'm listening. And when you start listening, the universe turns up the volume. Sometimes the universe speaks through contrast. When something falls apart, when plans crumble, when relationships end, it's not punishment, it's redirection. The universe often has to close one door to push you toward the next one. Pain, loss, and confusion aren't the universe being cruel. They're part of its deeper guidance system. Every breakdown carries a hidden message. There's something better aligned with your vibration waiting ahead. The universe never takes something away, unless it plans to replace it with something more in tune with who you're becoming. But most people miss the message because they resist change. They cling to what's familiar, mistaking comfort for safety. Yet, the universe speaks most loudly in moments of discomfort. That job you hate, that toxic relationship, that restless feeling in your chest every night before sleep. Those aren't coincidences. They're messages. They're signals that you're out of alignment. That something inside you knows you're meant for more. The universe will keep repeating the same lesson until you finally understand the language it's using to get your attention. Think about it. Your entire life has been a conversation between your choices and the universe's responses. Every yes you've said, every no you've ignored, every path you've taken has been met with a reaction from reality itself. Some call it karma, some call it energy feedback, but it's all the same dynamic. Life is not happening to you. It's happening through you. And once you truly understand that, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start realizing you're a participant in creation. You're co-writing your story with the universe. Every thought is an instruction. Every belief is a command. Every emotion is a frequency tuning your life signal to what you attract next. The more consciously you engage in that dialogue, the clearer the communication becomes. So the next time you ask for a sign, don't just look outward. Pay attention to what happens inside you after you ask. The feeling you get, the subtle pull in your heart, the sudden calm, or even the surge of resistance. That's the first message. The universe always answers. It's never silent. The question is, will you pause long enough to listen? Because the moment you start listening, everything begins to make sense. The chaos, the coincidences, the timing, it's not random. It's a code. And once you learn to read it, life stops being a series of accidents and starts becoming a masterpiece of meaning. Once you start understanding the language of the universe, you begin to realize that everything is communication. Every sound, every pause, every encounter carries meaning. The challenge is that most people are listening through noise, fears, doubts, and overthinking. The universe whispers, but our minds shout. To truly hear the universe, you must quiet the mind enough for your intuition to become louder than your logic. Because the universe doesn't argue. It simply reflects. Let's talk about symbols, one of the oldest and most powerful ways the universe communicates. From ancient civilizations to your modern life, symbols carry energy. Maybe you keep seeing a certain animal, a butterfly, a hawk, a cat crossing your path again and again. Or maybe you keep noticing specific numbers 333, 444, 555. Each symbol is a frequency signature, a vibration carrying a message specific to your current phase of growth. You may not consciously understand it, but your subconscious does. The universe speaks through the subconscious mind because it's the part of you directly connected to infinite intelligence. That's why signs always feel. Right before you logically figure them out, the heart recognizes truth before the brain catches up. For instance, when you see 111 or 1111 repeatedly, it often means alignment, a gateway moment where thought and reality begin merging. It's the universe saying, your intentions are about to manifest, stay focused. When you see 444, it's stability, a reminder that you're supported, even if you can't see the evidence yet. And when you see 555, it means transformation, change is near, and resistance will only make it harder. These patterns aren't superstition, they're vibration codes. The universe uses what catches your attention to deliver what your soul needs to hear. But universal communication isn't always gentle. Sometimes, it has to shake you to wake you. Ever noticed how life repeats the same lesson until you finally act differently? That's the universe's version of underlining a sentence. Miss the first sign, it sends another. Ignore that, the next one comes louder. Maybe through conflict, illness, or loss. It's not punishment, it's persistence. The universe is patient but firm. Its only goal is alignment. When your path drifts too far from your soul's purpose, reality will start glitching, plans will collapse, people will leave, and everything that no longer matches your frequency will fall away. Not because you're unlucky, but because your energy is upgrading. And here's the truth, you can't hear the universe when you're surrounded by chaos. Silence, solitude, and stillness are sacred spaces where cosmic communication becomes clear. Go outside at night, look at the stars, and breathe. Feel that vastness. That's not empty space. That's living energy, vibrating, responding. The same frequency that holds galaxies together flows through you. You are not separate from the universe. You are a fragment of its consciousness experiencing itself in human form. When you understand that, every message begins to make sense. The external world is just a projection of your internal vibration. Now let's talk about dreams, one of the universe's purest communication channels. When you sleep, the conscious mind steps aside, and your subconscious, your direct line to the universal mind, takes over. That's why dreams often bring answers that logic can't reach. If you've ever woken up from a dream that felt more real than reality, that's because your soul was decoding information from higher realms. Every symbol, every place, every face in your dream carries energy. The universe uses that dreamscape to show you what your waking mind refuses to see. Sometimes it warns you. Sometimes it comforts you. Sometimes it reminds you of your purpose. The more attention you give to your dreams, the clearer their messages become. Keep a dream journal, and you'll start noticing patterns. The same faces, the same themes, the same feelings. They form a story the universe wants you to decode. But here's the thing, the universe doesn't only speak in mystical ways. It also uses timing. Have you ever noticed how something that once seemed impossible suddenly becomes effortless when it's meant for you? That's divine timing. When your energy matches your desire, the universe opens the path. No forcing, no begging, it just flows. But when something keeps blocking you no matter how hard you push, that's also communication. It's the universe saying, not yet. Alignment isn't about what you want, it's about when you're ready. And readiness isn't proven by desire, it's proven by energy. You can't attract peace while carrying chaos inside you. The universe matches frequency, not words. Every time you shift your energy, through gratitude, forgiveness, or faith, you change the signal you're sending. That's why miracles often happen right after surrender. When you stop forcing and start trusting, you align with flow. It's like tuning a radio. The music was always there, but you finally matched the right frequency to hear it clearly. Many people say, I've asked the universe for signs, but nothing happens. But the truth is, it does happen. You just miss it because you expect the message to appear the way you want it, not the way it comes. The universe speaks in the language of least resistance. Sometimes it answers through a stranger's words, a song on the radio, or even a sudden delay that changes everything. A missed flight might save you. A rejection might redirect you. A failure might free you. But if you only see the surface, you miss the deeper meaning. Every detour is divine design in disguise. You also communicate back to the universe, not just with words but with energy. Your vibration is your language. Every emotion you emit becomes a message. Fear says, I don't trust. Gratitude says, I'm ready. Love says, I'm aligned. The universe responds not to what you say you want, but to what you feel you deserve. That's why healing is a form of communication too. When you heal your wounds, you stop sending mixed signals. You stop attracting chaos that mirrors your pain. Healing clears the static between you and the cosmic frequency, and there's a secret to hearing the universe more clearly: neutrality. The more attached you are to an outcome, the more noise you create. When you're desperate, anxious, or controlling, you distort the message. But when you become calm, trusting, and open, the messages come effortlessly. The universe flows best through still water, not turbulence. So if you're unsure, do nothing. Wait, listen. The next step will reveal itself not through force, but through feeling. Here's the paradox. The universe is always talking, but it never repeats itself the same way twice. What was once a whisper might later come as thunder. What you once ignored may now appear as destiny. The language evolves as you evolve. That's why spiritual growth is really just becoming fluent in universal communication. You start understanding that everything, from heartbreak to success, is a sentence in a much larger cosmic paragraph. And one day you'll look back and realize the signs were always there. Every coincidence, every heartbreak, every delay, all of it was the universe speaking to you in the only language it knows: energy, timing, and truth. The more fluent you become in the universe's language, the more your life begins to shift. Things that once confused you start making sense. The people who leave no longer feel like losses. They feel like completed lessons. You begin to see how every delay, every heartbreak, every twist of fate was a message carrying your evolution inside it. And once you realize this, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to show me? That single shift changes everything. Because the universe doesn't punish or reward. It educates through experience. You see, the entire universe is built on reflection. Everything you experience externally mirrors something that exists within you. If you're surrounded by chaos, it's not because the world is chaotic. It's because there's unresolved energy inside you that the universe is trying to help you see. If you keep attracting the same kind of people, it's not bad luck. It's the universe showing you the pattern you still need to heal. This is why awareness is the key. Once you become aware of the pattern, you break its power. Once you see the message, the lesson ends. The universe stops repeating what you finally learned. And that's when you enter flow. Flow is the universe's native language, a state where everything aligns effortlessly because you've stopped resisting what is. You wake up one day and realize that life isn't about control, it's about cooperation. You start working with the current instead of against it. Opportunities appear, intuition sharpens, timing perfects itself. You no longer chase signs, they come to you naturally because your entire being has become a sign. You're in sync, body, mind, and spirit vibrating as one. That's when you realize the ultimate truth. You were never separate from the universe to begin with. The messages weren't coming from outside. They were emerging from the same intelligence that created stars and cells, guiding you from within. But even in alignment, the universe keeps evolving you. The language deepens. What used to be simple signs now become subtle feelings, energetic whispers that bypass thought entirely. You start living through intuition, guided not by logic but by knowing. And that knowing feels peaceful, grounded, unshakable. Because truth doesn't shout, it resonates. When you're living in harmony with universal flow, decisions don't feel forced, they feel obvious. You don't have to convince yourself. You just know. Let's go deeper. The universe also speaks through contrast between fear and love. Every choice you face has only two frequencies behind it. Fear, which contracts your energy, or love, which expands it. The universe's guidance always aligns with expansion. When you choose love, even if it scares you, you align with the greater intelligence that drives creation itself. Fear tries to protect you from pain, but love propels you toward growth. The universe will always guide you toward love, even if it first appears as discomfort. Growth rarely feels safe at the beginning, but it always feels right at the end. And here's the irony: the more you trust the universe, the less you need it to prove itself. Because the proof becomes your peace. The signs still appear, but you no longer chase them for validation. You recognize them as confirmation. The numbers, the dreams, the coincidences, they're beautiful reminders, but the real communication happens inside your energy. You can feel when something is right. You can feel when something is wrong. You stop asking for signs and start being one. Your calm becomes a signal. Your joy becomes a transmission. Your gratitude becomes a conversation with creation itself. The ultimate way the universe talks to you is through manifestation feedback. Every manifestation, whether big or small, is a mirror showing you how clearly or chaotically you've been communicating. If you manifest confusion, your vibration has been scattered. If you manifest peace, your frequency is coherent. The universe doesn't misunderstand you. It translates your dominant vibration perfectly. That's why awareness is power. The moment you take responsibility for your energy, you realize you've been talking to the universe your whole life, and it's been answering faithfully every time. And let's not forget the most beautiful message of all: divine timing. Sometimes when nothing is happening, everything is happening. Beneath the surface, energies are aligning, connections are forming, paths are being cleared. You might not see the progress, but the universe does not work on human calendars. It works on alignment. If something hasn't arrived yet, it's not because you're being ignored. It's because it's still being built. The universe never forgets what you've asked for, but it waits until you've become the version of yourself who can receive it. Timing isn't a delay, it's precision. When you start to live this way, you stop panicking when plans fall apart. You stop doubting when people change. You begin to trust that every event, no matter how confusing in the moment, is communication. The breakup that felt like destruction was actually redirection. The failure that shattered your confidence was strengthening your foundation. The delay that frustrated you was saving you from a smaller version of yourself. Every no from the universe carries a silent, wait, something better is coming. And then comes the moment when you finally understand that you are not a separate listener waiting for messages from the sky. You are the message. You are the expression through which the universe experiences itself. Your thoughts are the universe thinking. Your heartbeat is the pulse of cosmic rhythm. When you meditate, dream, create, or love, the universe speaks through you. You are its voice in human form. This understanding doesn't make life perfect. It makes it purposeful. You'll still face challenges, but you'll recognize them as dialogue. You'll still experience pain, but you'll read it as transformation. You'll still face uncertainty, but instead of fear, you'll feel curiosity, wondering what message this new moment carries. Every sunrise becomes a new sentence. Every breath becomes communication between your soul and the infinite field. And that's the magic. Once you start treating life like a conversation with the universe, everything becomes meaningful. The stranger's kindness, the delay, the detour, the dream, Nothing is wasted. You begin to live consciously, aware that everything is talking to you if you're willing to listen. That's when life stops feeling random and starts feeling divine. So here's the secret to never missing a message again. Slow down. Observe. Listen without expectation. Ask, what is this trying to show me? And then trust the first feeling that rises. The universe answers in real time. The answers are already there, hidden in plain sight, waiting for your awareness to unlock them. You just have to be still long enough to notice. And as you walk through life from this moment forward, remember the universe isn't out there. It's within you, around you, and through you. It speaks in every vibration, every encounter, every breath you take. When you align your thoughts with love, your energy with peace, and your actions with purpose, you won't need signs anymore. You'll be the sign that others have been waiting for, so listen closely. The next coincidence, the next dream, the next quiet nudge in your heart, that's not random. That's the universe talking. It's been speaking to you all along. You were just finally quiet enough to hear it.